Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Comic Book Chronicles. I am your host, Roddykat. You can find me at Roddykat on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can also find me at News Nerds Need on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can also find me at CBCaps on Instagram.
South Carolina with Columbia down the way.
And the sound effects you've heard come from none other than our man in Brooklyn, @agent_70 on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky.
What's up, everybody? Co-hosting from the Borough of Kings. How y'all doing?
Brooklyn's finest.
I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Threads should always be last because it'll probably be the first one out the pocket. But but until that happens, we'll switch it up as needed, I guess. But yes, this is the Comic Book Chronicles, and you can find us on the Cold Slither Podcast Network, the CSPN.us.
Do it today.
You'll be hearing a little something about that a little bit later, actually, in a sideways note. And you can also find us on your podcast perusal place of choice, whether it be Apple iTunes, aka Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Cold Slither Podcast Network SoundCloud page.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, and leave us all the positive 5-star reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that helps people find our show.
Indeed. All right, folks. So yeah, we don't have any Your Friendly Neighborhood of Spider-Man this week because that's gone for the time being. But we also have news on that later on in the show. What we do have to start off with is this week's episode of Invincible, which is season 3, episode 6, titled "All I Can Say Is I'm Sorry."
It sounds like the title to an 80s rock ballad, doesn't it?
Kinda.
You know, I'm obviously tempted to spoil much of the plot, but at the end of the day, it does circle back to a plot point from, what is it, the first or second season?
I believe. Was it? Wasn't it the first?
End of the first, right?
Yeah.
Where like the heel turn is had and the battle is joined between Mark and Omni-Man, and things go very, very poorly for Mark and for the populace of Chicago.
Yes. Which, as I told Agent 7 before the show, there is a very DCU cinematic universe feel to the beginning of the show. Specifically, the beginning of Batman Superman in the way that it plays out. And like, granted, Invincible as a comic book is before that, but still, I can't see too many people looking at that and who has actual memories of that of Batman Superman movie and that part specifically, and think about, oh, okay, well, this is kind of that the way this is playing out.
I mean, what's funny is that I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. I mean,
I think I blocked it out of my brain.
I was about to say, you're the lucky one.
I'm pretty sure I blocked it out of my brain.
So, but yes, sadly, because at first I was like, wait, is that Justice League or is that Batman Superman? But I think it is Batman Superman because it would make more sense given what happened later on in that movie. With the title characters. But nevertheless, like I said, that might be a slight spoiler, but maybe not. If you, like Agent 70, don't remember what happened in Batman Superman, then I spoiled nothing for you. you
Seriously. What we were just talking about is, our pre-production meeting, pretty much just as we went on, because it was revealed to me who is the voice actor behind the antagonist of this episode, and I knew that character sounded familiar, and it is a character familiar to fans of the Breaking Bad show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that.
Right, which we did. I feel like we definitely talked about this person being a voice on the show, but I don't recall us or even the article that we talked about saying who they were playing. Put it that way.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So we knew it was going to be on the show. We just did not know in what capacity, and now we know. And from what I understand from looking into a little bit on that character, yeah, it won't be the last time we see them. So, so yeah, therein lies that. Like I said, yeah, we definitely don't want to give away what happens because it just came out today as a recording, which is slightly kind of sad, but at the same time, you know what? Hey, yeah, Invincible is a good show. You should deserve to go in unspoiled. So it's good, but I'm actually, yep, I found it. There we go. I found it. Yeah, I'll there's a clip I'm going to play Agent 70 after the show later on. So just to kind of refresh his memory on the thing.
Okay.
But right here, right now, well, we do also continue to get some relationship stuff. You know, Mark and Eve's a little bit. Even we get a little cameo from an ex of his, which we haven't seen in a couple of episodes. Who has been on the show, and also get a little bit more on, at the very least, again, a couple of other side relationships in this show, which again, not entirely sure if either of those are also, you know, from the comic, but you know, at this point, doesn't matter, you know. So, and I'm assuming this episode was also meant to build up to what, because we know we only got 2 more episodes left, so it's building up to kind of bring back a B plot that has been going on in the last few episodes of this season that Mark is not aware of, that is going on out in space. So, and I assume that's probably going to happen next issue, but I mean next episode, but we don't know who. I mean, well, I guess we kind of do, because if you look at the Prime Video page, you can kind of get an idea of what's and ever. Shout out to Von Gloom, who's in the chat. So about relationships, I'm on the wrong channel. No, sir, you are on the right channel. Welcome in.
What's going on, Von Gloom?
But yeah, we're just talking about Invincible, so you're just in time, actually. And there's really not much else to say. Like I said, we can sit here, we can spoil it, or we could just kind of let everything we just said kind of stand on its own, and I show Agent 70 the clip that I'm referencing later on. Because if I showed it now, we would this show would probably get tagged especially on YouTube. So we're not going to do that because we ain't making no money from this anyway. But still, we want to keep it. We want to keep strikes off of us. So anyway, that's Invincible for this week. It was it was a good episode, but definitely bringing us into the last couple of episodes of the season. Because as I'm sure, as Von Gloom said, the episode was something else, especially the ending. Exactly. So, actually, you know what? Now that you say that, I wonder if the space stuff is not going to. Well, no, because I feel like I've seen something about it. Because I was like, I wonder if they're actually going to tackle the space stuff. They're going to bridge the space stuff with what's going on.
Right. We're going to get some multiversal stuff too.
Yes, indeed. Again. Because it's not the first time it's happened during the course of this show.
Yeah.
Right. We mentioned that Vine Gloom because we're gonna, yeah, 'cause it's like, the inevitable thing that happens in a situation like that, and that's all we pretty much said, so we can let people kind of find them out for themselves. Um, but I don't know who is Conquest. I don't know who that is, and again, like I said, I know you read the books, we do, but neither one of us have. So that's with two episodes left, like we just said. I don't know. So I wish I could answer that question for you, but that was just probably you questioning out loud as you do.
Right.
So, but it's all good. So yeah, I don't know. You got anything else on Invincible before we push on?
No, it was a pretty interesting way to explore, like, the classic revenge trope in comics. It almost never goes the way it's expected to go, the way that the planner expects it to go.
I gotcha.
It almost always backfires on the person planning the revenge. So,
right. Oh, this person. I just looked up who that person was. I gotcha. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, probably, maybe. Well, we don't know. Like I said, there's only 2 episodes left, so yeah, and I think we have seen that person before, actually, last season. But anyway, we'll find out. Like I said, with 2 episodes left, ain't no telling where they're gonna go. Like Agent 7 said, it's good at kind of subverting that sometimes.
Right.
What you expect to see. But with that, we are going to go over into the comic books of the week.
All righty, here we go.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, shout out to Ted Knight. But we're going to start off with, actually, if you want to pull up this sound cue, Gatchaman number 7. My man always got me.
There you go. Gatchaman number 7, published by Bad Cave Studios, is written by Cullen Bunn, with pencils by Chris Batista, inks by Sabrina. Oh, that's a typo in my credits. What is her name?
Is it a typo in my credit? Oh, it's a typo in my credit also. Haha.
Oh, because
you got yours from me, didn't you?
No. If I would get to 10, it's like one of those fat finger typos that is easy to make if you're either typing too fast or you basically hit like the letter right next to it.
Right. It is not a typo in mine, actually. It's Centron.
Thank you. Yeah, see, look, I totally butchered like the second letter and the second to last letter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Look at that.
It happens.
Look at that. Inks by Sabrina Cintron, colors by Carlos Lopez, and letters by Buddy Beaudoin. Kind of a spoilery light recap. There's a martial arts dude that is tapped to train the Science Ninja team, and believe it or not, mechanical Mothra attacks. And
I don't know if you saw that in my notes or you got that one for yourself, but either way, that was pretty good.
Oh no, I definitely typed it into my notes. You can see it right now.
Oh, nice. So we were thinking the same thing then. Because I totally have that in my notes too as well.
That's funny. You get to see, there's a chemical weapon unleashed, and chaos ensues for the Science Ninja team to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see the beta, the gamma, and the whatever the heck the fourth letter is. The Delta team. I don't know if it's the Delta team or not.
That's or Epsilon. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, so the backup teams and the backup teams, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You get to see a little bit of that too, and things don't go the way. Well, actually, things kind of do go the way you expect them to go.
Right.
When there's a chemical weapon involved. So.
Especially when given what we've already said, so yeah, like I said, the somebody is brought on board, like Age of 7 said, to train the backup teams, and our alpha team squad, the ones we know and love, are like, we're on a different level from this dude, and of course words are being said and this and that and the other, and part of that comes back to haunt them, one of them at the end,
Right.
because of things we just said. So I was kind of wondering if something else was going to be here, because there was, like, when they were talking to Dude, like, you see somebody else kind of there, and I'm like, okay, so is this going to be more of a Galactor plot to infiltrate, or there's just something probably for another issue or two down the line that they're probably going to bring up or something.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. My guess is that it's going to take at least. It's probably going to take at least like the remaining story arc, I think.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. So, but yeah,
because if I'm not mistaken, there's 3 issues left in this opening story arc. So that's when I think we're going to go all the way to 10. I think that's when this character is going to have something to contribute, probably just before issue 10.
Right. Right. Or whatever happens to where, they're in. So, but yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Gatchaman number 7. It was a pretty good read, as it tends to be. Pretty light as it is, but good stuff. Has nothing to do with that other miniseries that's going on.
It's supposed to weave in at some point.
Right. But right now it ain't that time. So
right.
And I would imagine this is me guessing, that miniseries is probably going to come in like later, probably in the next arc. Maybe not this one. I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see, because I figured whatever's going to play out over there, and then whatever comes out of that is going to fold back in. But like I said, we'll see. Next up, though, we are going to get in with the Heroes in a Half Shell, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 7 of 2024, because I forgot they have that 2024 before the numbering.
Yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7 is written by Jason Aaron with art by Juan Ferreira. Letters are by Sean Lee. So things really hit the fan at the end of last issue and have not gotten any better for the Turtles. The Turtles find themselves retreating to the sewers of Gasp, the sewers of Newark, New Jersey.
Yes. Straight from the sewers to the sewers.
Oh my goodness. Straight up suicide. Where's Redman when you need him?
Right. Straight up. That's
very apropos. So
Indeed.
Each turtle tries to handle things in his own way, and the story, again, probably for the second time or third time in the recent past, is told from the point of view of probably the least stable turtle.
Or is he more stable than the rest of them?
Yes, that is the caveat.
Right. Despite what's going on with him, yes.
Right.
Well, yeah, my boy Donnie seems to be the voice of reason, despite what's going on with him. During all of this, or during this whole thing, and there's apparently a little possible supernatural thing going on. Could be potentially supernatural thing.
Maybe.
Aaron might be putting in here. It wasn't clear last issue. It is clearer now, sorta, kind of.
Maybe.
It's still a wait and see. But yeah, that DA that's causing the Turtles trouble is kind of taking advantage of the situation. April might be taking up a mantle, and something weird happens on that end, of which kind of reminds me of usually a turtle adversary might be involved. I'm not entirely sure, unless they got somebody else that can do what happened. Can,
Right.
yeah, but outside of that, yeah, this is actually a potential click of the week for me.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. It was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, and not just because because of Donnie, but it was like, okay, the whole thing. It was like, give me more. Let me see what's going. What's the how they're gonna handle this, and whatnot. But yeah, the tensions are high, and no, she's April. Von Gloom says April becomes Splinter. Nope, she's already doing that in that future book, in that last Ronin book. So
that's true. Exactly.
She's already got that covered there. So, but another mantle she might be potentially taking up. So we'll see how that works out. Next up, though. We're a little bit of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Alrighty, Ultimate Spider-Man number 14 is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Marco Cacchetto. Colors are by Matthew Wilson and letters are by VC's Corey Petit. Craven's hunt for Peter and Harry comes to a crescendo, and young Richard and Felicia Hardy start a remix of the Spidey Black Cat relationship. And I want to hand this off to Roddykat by saying I sighed a sigh of relief when I realized that it is a younger form of this relationship, because I was very much
confused,
dreading that there was going to be like a winter summer type relationship going on later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Up until something got clarified in this issue, I was kind of wondering that myself. Right. I'm like, wait, that's okay, sure, but like I said, things got clarified, and it was like, all right, it's cool, it's better, not cool, but it's better,
Definitely.
Yeah, so like, all right, cool, yeah. So as I say in my notes, when Richard and Felicia met, or kind of like when Harry met Sally situation, but not really the same. Or maybe it is. I don't freaking know. When was the last time I seen that movie ever? But yeah, Peter is kind of single-minded because of the situation. Because of he and Harry's situation, which, boy, did that come to a thing.
Well, he's got to focus on that because that's pretty life and death.
With the emphasis on one for one of them. Or potentially. Actually, I'm not even sure about that, though. There's part of it that's got me curious about something. And like I said, not that we don't want to spoil what actually happens in this, but everything sure looks like it's kind of what it is. Given what was mentioned and what happened, but given, let's just say, who shows up and a couple of other things around that, kind of made me curious about whether things actually played out the way that we saw them. I mean, granted, I have no reason to believe they didn't.
Right.
But like I said, just something about that all happening the way it did just kind of made me curious. Where, Okay.
Right. What I wanted, one thing I was thinking about as I was reading this, and I did not necessarily want to type this out into my notes, but I'm reminded of it, is that to see what happens to Peter, who we think has it all, in this version of his origin, see it come crashing down because of exactly what he was trying to prevent in his 616 origin.
Right.
He's trying to prevent exactly what happens because of trying to maintain a secret identity, and keeping it and doing it for the reasons that are well known. And it's a trope now. It's a recent trope where the secret identities are something not necessarily kept in modern superhero storytelling. for multiple reasons, for reasons that for reasons that people give to counter argue the reasons, the general traditional reasons for keeping a secret identity. But now we see that, you know, it can go bad. It can go bad for. It can go very bad for the reasons that, you know, for the reasons that people keep secret identities in the first place.
Right. And
You know, that's really what I wanted. That's what I was thinking when I was typing out my notes, thinking that, yes, this is the ideal that people always thought Spidey should have, where, you know, certain people know and certain people are kept in the loop. But now things have gone, you know, have really, you know, hit the fan because certain people know.
right. And actually, going back to kind of something you just said, it's kind of loose here in a way, because yeah, like you said, you know, people kind of, there are people who know who probably who obviously we know in 616, you know, in other places, but done in a different way. But also, even in this particular issue, it was like, yeah, you kind of there was a little bit of freedom on one side of that with two characters, and how loose you just kind of tell this person you just met, despite you didn't give them everything, you know.
Right.
But you gave them enough. And the fact that we found out later on, there's which I guess probably is not that big of a surprise, in a slight MCU parallel, an adversary ends up finding out, or does find out, or probably already knew about an identity that I'm sure he's going to do something with at some point. Something's going to come out of that at some point.
Definitely.
So,
And also, you know, this particular version of Peter still hews to the same kind of moral code that most versions of Peter Parker stick to, and it does come back to bite him.
Yep. Which, again, goes back to, I think we probably saw that coming, because Hickman kind of threw that nugget out there issues ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when, and now it's here, or it has been for the last couple of issues, I should say, between this one and that one. So, yeah, the worst fears are coming true. Now we're going to see how, you know, how things play out, or what's going to happen now. Excuse me, pardon me. Ooh, Von Gloom says, I'm not used to the Moloids talking outside of Fractions FF, which I don't remember that. So,
I remember some of Fractions FF. It's been a while though.
Yeah. And also going back to the Harry Met Satterley thing, minus the I'm having what she's having. Yes, indeed. None of that happened in this issue. But yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man continues to be a great read. You know, not surprising. Another potential click of the week.
Definitely, that is definitely a candidate.
Yeah. So, and that's a usual for both of us. So it's not that big of a surprise because yeah, it's been solid. You know, continues to be solid. So, I do say in my notes, Peter starts to get a sense of his tingle.
A better sense, yeah.
Yes, which I don't know about anybody else, but I have never liked the fact that or I have rarely liked the fact that the Spider Sense was called Peter Tingle, and by some people still continue to be called Peter Tingle in the MCU. I'm like, please stop it right now.
You know what it is? They just want to differentiate themselves from what came before. Sometimes what came before is the best way to do it.
Right. Yes. Mom gonna call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. As simple as that. And with that, we are going to move on to we're going to stay in the Spider Corner. Actually, with Amazing Spider-Man number 68 Deaths.
So, Amazing Spider-Man number 68 Deaths is written by Christos. Let me pronounce it in the Greek. Christos Gage, with art by Mark Buckingham, colors by Mattia Iacono, and letters by our favorite lettering python, VC's Joe Caramagna. This is basically a side story being told in the wake of this, or in the midst of this very Spidey-centric story, based on the events of the last issue. Spidey's kind of taken off the board, so it makes a little bit of sense that it's a Juggernaut-focused issue.
Which
hands off to Roddykat.
Yeah, I mean, I would say enough said, but that's pretty much it. The Juggernaut's pretty much front and center on this one, and I kind of love this issue for that one, because you think about it, hey, and I think it wasn't even, it was last issue where Peter was like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to go up against you now, as he has a couple times in the past. And Juggernaut was like, yeah. But yeah, this is Juggernaut versus the as I'm calling them, the inverted X-Men, because they didn't get inverted when that whole thing happened many many years ago. And what was it, Axis? No, it wasn't Axis. Sorry. I still forget what the hell that thing was called. Maybe it was Axis. No, because that was X-Men versus Avengers versus X-Men. When pretty much everybody, all of the Avengers and whatnot got inverted, their personalities inverted. That event.
Remember that? Oh my god, I do remember. I remember something like that, but
Right.
Goodness gracious, we read a lot of comics.
Right, but X-Men wasn't around for that, so coincidentally. So now this is kind of a version of that because of this whole blight thing with Sidorak and whatnot, and we even get a little bit of Juggernaut and Sidorak. Well, it was a one-sided conversation, but still, whatever. But I do love the fact that the Juggernaut was like, look. That it was Axis. Okay, thanks, Von Gloom. That's all. Thanks. Score one from memory. But yeah, seeing Juggernaut pretty much saying that his signature catchphrase over and over again, and it's actually being pretty true.
Mm-hmm.
While going up against his teammates is kind of interesting.
Oh, they've heard it a million times before.
Right, and what's three or four more times? The only difference is they're usually not. He's usually not against them when he says it. So, and I love it. Well, he kind of embraces both of his lots in life, I guess you could say, in this issue. I guess all three of them technically, because I mean, him being I guess he still classifies himself a certain way, even despite the fact that he's on this team of superheroes. So, wait, it was Axis. It was, yes, Red Onslaught and Wanda. Yes, I do remember that. Onslaught, good God. Anyway, yeah. Axis, I did not care for Axis. We're not gonna rehash into that now. But the fact that I brought it up, I know I did. But yeah, that was.
I don't remember much of it.
Well, once again, you are lucky. Because that's where we got asshole Iron Man, which, granted, around the time it was the ECU, we still got asshole Iron Man, but, and wait, wasn't?
I bought those comics. I have them. I read them. I just don't remember much of them.
Again, you luckily blocked it out. And did we not get Superior Iron Man also out of that, or was that later? I think that was later. That might have been later. But regardless, yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man Death is basically
red. Yeah, I'm glad that Von Gloom was very specific about it. He said it's Red Onslaught. That was the Red Skull Onslaught.
Right.
Goodness.
And Wanda, because of spells going wrong and shit.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, Juggernaut issue in Amazing Spider-Man is kind of amazing. No pun intended. Or maybe it is. Who knows? Regardless, and by the way, Spidey's still in the state that Spidey's in through all of this. And we'll deal with that, I assume, next actual issue. Because I don't know if we have any more of these deaths issues after this. I don't know, because these couple kind of snuck up on us. But regardless, we're going to move on to the West Coast Avengers, number 4.
Wackos! West Coast
Sir.
Avengers number 4 is written by Jerry Duggan, with art by Danny Kim. Colors are by Arthur Hesley, and letters by our favorite lettering python, once again, VC's Joe Caramagna. In this issue, we find out why Tony and Rhodey trust this particular Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
From my point of view, thank goodness Duggan is not treating Angelica Jones too badly. I guess you never know where needed help can come from. Blue Bolt still sucks.
Yes, I concur. Because I know you're reading from your notes, but yeah, that was the potential, possible potential relationship that we had gotten articles about, that we had talked about in the past, doesn't necessarily go off the way that it was hinted at, and that's great. That is absolutely positively great. Although it does kind of still dangle a thing out there for some other time. But the way I read it, I feel like, okay, no, we threw y'all on the hook real quick, but we're we fooled you. We swerved.
Right.
Which is great. You know, Angelica doesn't need that. She but yes, as Edgy70 said, help come from unexpected places, and I was not expecting that. But as I was reading, I was like, interesting. Okay, cool. Blue Bolt still sucks, but there's still a little something. He still has some tinge of a not necessarily a heart, conscience, I guess.
Like some redeeming quality.
Yeah, he has a little bit of a conscience. So. Yeah. But yeah, that
he may not exactly discern, who best to follow sometimes, because who he was following at one point is going to come back in the next issue of Wackos.
True.
So,
yes. So yeah, we found out about the whole Ultron information in thing, and I'm still, as I told Agent 7, I would like to see if we actually saw this play out in a thing, because we did not get a footnote on it. So I'm assuming we got that information we got here was pretty much from here and not in any other book. I feel like and especially if it's, well, granted, it's been months in this book, but we don't know how long it could have been right. if it had actually happened anywhere in another book, which I don't think it did. I do love there was a reference to the East Coast team as the East Coast Avengers, as what used to be the case when the coasts were separated. But obviously, it is what it is for that. So yeah, hopefully Duggan does right by Angelica, because she's had enough issues, and some of which were noted here, by the way. But she's had enough issues in her comic book life where I want to see some good come out of it. You again, like I said last time, you cannot you can't do an amazing friend like that. You shouldn't.
Right. And I hate to say this, that's kind of how I always view the character. And I know the character's history is vastly different than what we saw in the animated series, but I always wish it was more like the animated series as opposed to the convoluted stories that they told about her involving the Hellfire Club and her post Busiek Avengers run and so on.
Yeah, even in Krakoan era, but everything, she's had a bad one. She's had a very bad one. Her bout with cancer. Yeah, hell, that was a big note.
Well, that was part of the Busiek Avengers run. So, but I understood that because that made some kind of scientific sense.
Yes, but still, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
That being said, like I said, yeah. So there's the only part about the Ultron thing that I'm still kind of curious about, and everything pretty much was put on the table here. And Von Gloom, I know, mentioned it, and I was also thinking it the last time we talked about this, because there was an Ultron who I believe ended up calling himself Mark from Avengers AI, which was an Al Ewing series from a few years ago, and he was a good Ultron, like a good, yeah, both ways, I guess. So at first I was thinking, okay, so is the one on the team this one? Is that Mark? But he would have, if that was the case, it would have called himself Mark, which he did not. So this is pretty clearly not that one. And where is that one? Because I don't think we've seen that one since Avengers AI, unless something happened and got caught up in the whole Hanktron thing. I don't freaking know. I don't think so, though. Which they also kind of sort of bring up in here as well. Which that whole thing is still kind of a weirdness as to what happened after that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Wackos, there you go. Issue number 4, and we're going to continue on next issue with, as Agent 70 said, a little history between Kilowatt and his past.
Right.
And with that, I think we only have one more book between us, which is, I guess I should have gone to this one after that last one, but nevertheless, X-Men number 12.
Alrighty, X-Men number 12 is written by Jed MacKay, with pencils by Netho Diaz, inks by Sean Parsons and Livesay, colors by Fair Cifuentes Sujo, and letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. Now, I'm not sure if we knew already, but we find out who is flying the Vindicator suit that appeared at the end of last issue.
Right, yeah, I don't think we knew.
What's that?
I don't think we knew up until now.
Right. And the continuing story, apparently, of Alpha Flight has not skipped a beat from when we last saw them play a role in the Fall of Krakoa stories in their 2023 limited series. I was very happy to see the footnote, the editor's note about that.
Right.
It makes sense that intergalactic bad people would target Cyclops for their stated reasons in this story.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hand it off to Roddykat.
Yeah, I was like, we did not know at last issue why that was happening, because all things pointed the other way until we found out. And yeah, given the reason why we found out this issue, makes a whole lot of sense. Whole lot of sense. So good on them for that one. But yeah, we found out about what happened to Alpha Flight after that whole Krakoan thing was cool. I'm almost fairly certain Marina was not with him during that whole thing. So
Right.
seeing her here, it was like, wait, what? Matter of fact, where the hell has she even been? Because the last time I remember seeing her, and I know things have changed since then, she was a sea monster that died.
I think there's been more recent than that, but yeah, I get it.
But what I'm saying is, that was my last memory of seeing her. Like she probably has popped up since then as
Right.
being, hey, I'm alive, and that whole happened. Yeah, thank you. Von Gloom is reconfirming what I thought, because I knew she wasn't there. So now, as we tend to do, I'm actually kind of curious to go to Marvel Unlimited, not a sponsor, and see where Marina has shown up and where she has had any contact with Namor since that happened.
Right.
That would be a story I would read. Granted, it wasn't her fault. It wasn't either one of us fault as what happened, but and that was an old Avengers storyline, folks, and where we also lost Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau for a good while, which pissed me off. Because of because of what happened. But regardless, there's another Predator handshake moment that happens in here, which kind of leads me to believe that both of the ones that have happened in this book so far is leading up to something. Probably not, but I'm just gonna put it out there. And then we go into X-Man Hunt, and that's pretty much what this issue does. They deal
My
with
goodness. I was just flipping through Axis. I don't remember any of this stuff.
There you go, Agent 70.
It's
using
11 years old now. It came out in
Yeah.
2014. My God.
Yep, and we were around for that.
Oh my God.
Oh, hey, speaking of, I just thought about it. Damn it, I was going to mention this earlier. Hey, guess what? Happy anniversary to the Comic Book Chronicles, because the anniversary date is tomorrow as we're recording this. So we're recording on Thursday, and the show's anniversary would be on the Friday after this.
Wow.
So yeah, we're.
How many years is that? I don't want to know. God, how many years has that been?
I want to say like what, 13, 14? No, maybe like 12 or 13. I had it written down.
A lot.
Yeah, I have it written down, but.
Damn.
Yeah, we've been at this for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't us, at TimDog98 started it, shout out to at TimDog98, but the rest of us, came on as the show evolved, and Roddykat and I are the ones keeping it going.
Yeah, pretty much. And it wasn't that long since, him starting and, it being the force that it was, and then to now. So
yeah.
It was like you just came on before I did. So,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it has been a minute. We don't have anything planned, but just thought that I'd note that because I saw it come up on my calendar.
Unreal. God.
Stop it, Von Gloom. Stop it. I'm not even gonna read that statement.
Oh no.
I'm not even gonna read that statement. But
oh my God.
Oh man. I mean, hard to hide it from Kels too, while you're at it. But anyway, yeah.
That's very funny. That's very funny. Yeah, because of course, Von Gloom, because you said that, now it's running through my head, and I'm looking for a way to incorporate it into the show.
Yes, it's probably a minor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. There we go. We'll put on that one. Another variant cover. But yeah, X-Men number 12. I don't think there's much else to be said outside of we got a team up between the two teams. It's a little bit of catch up with what Alpha Flight's been up to. And their current states now, and whether what happens here is going to fall back into the Phoenix book, in some kind of way. I doubt it, or maybe it will. I don't know. They got to meet up at some point, right? Wait, because X-Manhunt is going to run through Phoenix as well, isn't it?
I think so. I will double check as we move on to the next. Wait, do we have any more books together?
That's the last one. That's the last one.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I'll just pull it up very quickly, and do my best to see, because if I'm not mistaken, the checklist is at the end of most of the X books nowadays.
Correct.
So if I pull that up,
oh yeah. Thank you, Von Gloom, because that was going to be my next question, actually. So Von Gloom mentions that they brought back a Jason Aaron's era villain, because somebody pops up here who apparently knows or has had dealings with a couple of the members of the X team, and I am not familiar with who that person was or their relation to those folks that they were talking about. And Von Gloom says, I think X-Manhunt is only the Earth-based mutants, which would make sense because it's no need.
It's everyone. It's everyone, including Storm. Right? Because Storm is kind of in between. Phoenix is not one of the crossover issues.
Okay, so that still checks out. Yeah.
So it's X-Men, X-Factor, X-Force, which unfortunately we have some news about probably.
Oh, did I put that in there? I think I did. Yes, right. I think I did.
And I think NYX also is part of that news.
Actually, that was where we found that out. Yeah.
Right. So ultimately, it's running through all of the X titles with an Omega issue in X Manhunt, but it's not touching upon the Phoenix book, which again, I've said it before. The Phoenix book is essentially the one space book in Marvel right now. There are no other space books.
Depending on what, or I guess depending on what they do with Storm in the next few issues after X Manhunt. You're probably right. You are right. Excuse me. Von Gloom says, what did he say? Although the previews do indicate that Xavier, the Space Prince's daughter, is in deep trouble. I thought she was dead. Didn't they kill her? I know they tried to kill her.
They tried to.
Yeah, when the whole Rogue and Gambit thing miniseries. But maybe his daughter might lead to Hickman's Imperial. Yeah, I don't know. I think we do have a little bit of info on.
Just an interesting thing now, because we've joked before that the space corner of the Marvel universe with no Guardians is pretty empty, right? So now we've got Phoenix, and now with Imperial, maybe they're looking to jumpstart that corner of the Marvel universe.
I would hope
maybe
so.
Maybe it'll be another Guardians reboot, or it will be something else.
Man, I would love the OG Guardians to come back, but I know that's not going to happen because they're dead set on the modern excuse me, the modern version of the Guardians, and not 3000. The OG 3000 era Jokers, whom I know and love. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I guess on the plus side of that, Novas are probably coming back. We would hope during Imperial by some way, shape, or form.
Maybe. I mean, obviously they've kept Richard Rider going in the pages of Phoenix. Right,
and the one thing we'll get to in the news, we definitely know that. We definitely know Nova is involved, put it that way.
Right.
Because of the thing we see in the previous stuff. And actually, this reminds me, May solicitations are out. I know for DC, I think Marvel's might be out as well, and I did not pull them, but I have to pull them and put them in the show notes. Just in case people, there are people who like to read that stuff. So that being said, we're going to actually push on to Rapid Fire because we don't have any other books in common.
Alrighty, here we go. Rapid Fire review time.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh wait! Right. Before you do your thing, let me just check. Rich,
all right, I will put a hold on Rapid Fire reviews.
See, James doesn't want anything to do with Charles. See, you're wrong for that. But yeah, but who has been checking her out since? Yeah. They killed.
Who wrote that story? Who wrote that story? I can't remember. I probably just blocked that out of my head.
I don't remember who wrote that either, but yeah, it's kind of a thing. Actually, the funny part about it was that when that one story that they had young Charles in the beginning of X-Men or Uncanny, whichever one it was. No, it was Uncanny. It's kind of funny. It was like, yeah, Charles been horny for a long time. But Von Gloom also says they killed her being Charles's daughter. Was her name Xandra or something like that? I can't remember her name, but whatever. They killed her in X-Men Red, but he resurrected her immediately since she is Xavier's favorite child. Wait. Oh, I was about to say only child, but I forgot he hasn't claimed Legion in quite a while. Oh, he tried to actually during that time, but Legion wasn't having it. I just remembered. Man, the Krakoan era has some shit going on.
Yeah. Anyway, Rapid Fire reviews. First up for me is Absolute Wonder Woman #5, published by DC Comics. It's written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman. Shout out to Hayden Sherman doing a bang up job on the art on this book. Colors are by Jordi Belair and letters are by Becca Carey. So the story, the finale for this opening arc takes a confusing turn, but you do have to remember that this is not the Wonder Woman and that's what I had to keep telling myself as the story ends and then takes a twist ending and leads us into kind of a cliffhanger going into the next story arc. Next up for me is Justice League Unlimited #4, published by DC. It's written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora. Colors are by Tamara Bonvillain and letters are by Ariana Marr. The Inferno, not the Disco Inferno, but just the Inferno, almost win, but are defeated when Magic and the Green. If you're a DC, if you know anything about DC, you know what the Green is, because God help us if you're not those somewhat passingly familiar with some things. And the Green go through a civilian recruit to turn the tide and halt the fire, in South America. I mean, there's fires all over the place and it's bad, Next up, so we did that. That was a mutual book. This is a book we had in common. Captain America and Volstagg #1 is written by J. Michael Straczynski with art by Bernard Chang. Colors are by Marcelo Maiolo, and letters are by our favorite lettering paisan, VC's Joe Caramagna. Oh, wait, I apologize. I was about to read something else. Cap gets pulled up to Asgard by Lady Sif at the request of Volstagg the Vainglorious, and an adventure with the best intentions starts. And it ends in a pretty fitting way. Believe it or not, this issue, this one-shot, is a candidate for Click of the Week for me. I just like the way it was a nice one and done story. Focusing on the one member of the Warriors 3 that is a joke for the most part, but in this issue we are meant to and actually do take seriously. Next up is Fantastic Four #29. It's written by Ryan North with pencils by Corey Smith, inks by Oren Jr., colors by Jesus Bertov, and letters again by our favorite lettering paisan, VC's Joe Caramagna, the hardest working letterer over at Virtual Calligraphy. Sue, Ben, and Jen Walters have some allegorical discussions, and the FF as a whole play a part in dealing with the current status quo after Doom's round 1 victory in One World Under Doom. It definitely hits the book, the story, and the One World Under Doom thing as a whole hits a little too close to home for a lot of us, for most of us right now. This is definitely a candidate for Click of the Week for me. All right. Next up, I've got a lot to go through, folks. I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible. Iron Man #5 is written by Spencer Ackerman with art by Javier Pina. Colors are by Alex Sinclair, and letters again by our favorite lettering paisan, VC's Joe Caramagna. Tony, Riri, and Melinda May take on Lucia von Barda. Remember her from Secret War? Not plural Secret Wars, just Secret War. That's pretty much where this issue goes. It kind of wraps things up in a nice little bow. Next up is Rogue in the Savage Land #2 of 5. It's written by Tim Seeley with art by Zulema Scott Lavina. Colors are by Rochelle Rosenberg, and letters are by VC's Ariana Marr. This continues to fill in the gaps, or the blanks, of Rogue's time in the Savage Land, circa Extinction Agenda and Professor X returning from Shi'ar space back during incredible, basically Jim Lee era Uncanny Run. It was the best it ever was. That's it for me. We covered the rest of the books I have in the books we have in common. Anything off to Roddykat?
Well, alrighty then. First up for me is Black Canary, Best of the Best, #4 of 6. Written by Tom King, art by Ryan Sook, colored by Dave Stewart, and letters by Clayton Cowles. So it's another potential Click of the Week for me. It's round 4 of the match between Black Canary and Lady Shiva, and as a big thanks to the events thanks to the events of last issue, Black Canary has a little fire underneath her, rightfully so, and it goes on the offensive, more on the offensive. We also get some flashbacks of her meeting. So, wait, actually, I need to find. I'll look into that in a little second. But if this is a Black Label book, then that would explain what's. No, it does not say that here. Okay, never mind. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm familiar with all of DC's history, but that's fine. We get some flashbacks on Dinah meeting Oliver Queen through Ted Grant, and some things around that. We also get other flashbacks with Dinah and her mom on some things, because that is kind of a focal point of this whole story in a way. And Canary pulls a Bane at one part, but doesn't quite go off the same way. But hey, the match still goes on for the next 2 issues. Next up, I need to pull up my list here. There we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures continued. That was the part I forgot to put in there. Number 22. There we go. Story by Eric Burnham, art by Sarah Meyer, letters by Ed Dukeshire, and colors by Luis Antonio Delgado. So, as I read my notes, an unfriendly game of baseball happens when Tempestra makes demands. Oh, Lord. That's a typo. Okay. Makes demands. That's a terrible typo at that. On the eve of a local championship baseball game. And of course, the rivals are all out and whatnot. But Casey Jones kind of get interviews with some things because, he has a stake in things. But a little bit of information, exposition, and some bad baseball jokes later, things are taken care of thanks to, of course, the best turtle there is, Donatello. Or at least until next time. Of course, this is from the world of the 86 cartoon, so lots of puns and fourth wall breaking to be had therein. Next up, Star Trek Defiant, number 24. There we go. Written by Christopher Cantwell, art by Angel Unzueta, colors by Marissa Louise, and letters by Clayton Cowles once again. So they're continuing this. Worf and Alexander are still doing this rite that will get Alexander's honor back. But the last stop on that trip has him dealing with some Day of Blood business and a clone of Kalis who is seen better days, apparently. And, things don't necessarily happen how you think it would in a Klingon rite of honor in that, which seems to be leading into what's going on, or at the very least seems to be connected to what is going on in the Star Trek ongoing book, especially with what happens at the end of that book in last issue, which was like issue 29, I think it is. I have it written down, but yes, Star Trek number 29, we do see something that may have answered the question about where a certain person is in relation to what's going on in that thing, which again, Defiant hasn't washed over the Defiant yet, but I assume once it gets to that whole lore war thing, maybe it will. I don't know how they're working with it, but nevertheless, That is that. And also the preview image has got me concerned because like either that's an old image that they just chose not to use, or maybe a character is coming back. And if that character does, that'd be great. But I don't see how that's going to happen. Last but not least for me, because apparently neither one of us read the TVA book this week.
There's a TVA book out this week?
There sure was.
Missed it.
Yeah. Star Trek Section 31 one shot. Written by Alyssa Wong, art by Megan Levins, colors by Charlie Kirchhoff. Therein lies another typo. And letters by Jody Troutman. So, if you watched that Section 31 movie that is on Paramount Plus now, well, this is connected to that only because it's dealing with Philippa Georgiou, who is the main character of both of those, who of course is played by oh crap. Why am I blanking on her name?
What's that?
Crap. My mind is going.
What? What's the character?
You don't know the character. This is because you don't watch that show. Philippa Georgiou, who is on Star Trek.
Wait, you mean it's the Greek sounding character who's definitely not Greek looking?
Definitely not. Michelle Yeoh. I don't know.
I was about to say, I was hinting at the fact that I knew who that was, and I was like, you mean the person who's everything everywhere all at once?
Basically, yes.
That's exactly what I was going to say, but I'm glad you got it.
And if you said that, I would have gotten it a little sooner, but yes, that is in there.
Right, because it bugs me out that her name is so Greek, but she's definitely not Greek looking. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, that was, whatever for a reason for the show. But regardless, actually, I don't even know if the show even acknowledges that. But then again, hell, Jean-Luc Picard was supposed to be French, but he's English. So Star Trek
things, right?
So Star Trek, I'm saying Star Trek just does some weird things. But basically, this is a backstory on the character of Philippa Georgiou, the Terran universe version specifically, because we know how. Well, if you watched Discovery, you know what happens to the Prime Earth, the Prime universe version of that character. Even I know that because I think that's whatever. But yeah, so this is the backstory on that character, and I guess leads up to the Section 31 movie that is out on Paramount Plus. There we go. And that, folks, is it for me. Kliqs of the week.
Kliqs of the week.
So while Agent 70 gets to his, because I'm sure he probably has his already locked down, let me get to the chat. Von Gloom says Ryan Sook's art is worth the price of admission. I want a year's worth of Ryan Sook art, but I don't think he's been on any book for a whole year. Well,
yeah, listen, those penciling duties are hard to keep up month to month.
Right. But hey, you get the 6 months. So with this, so there you go. Agent 70 says there's a food joke in the Volstagg book, but that's not how it ends. Von Gloom also says Ted Grant. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, not Black Cat, but another type of cat. Yes, the boxer dude.
Mm-hmm.
The deranged Casey Jones that I remember.
Yeah, not Black Cat. It's Wildcat. It's Wildcat, right?
It's Wildcat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So going back to that for one quick second. So yeah, the flashbacks they have in that Black Canary book, I always thought Ted Grant was the one who mentored and basically taught, not necessarily, was one of the people who taught Black Canary how to fight. Maybe that's the animated version. I don't know, but that book suggests it's the other way around, I mean, because we know Dinah was trained by her mom, so that was a whole nother thing. But that book kind of suggests that it's kind of the other way around. But he's still a boxer. It's just that she was the one who trained him, and they were basically training Ollie, who had just come back from the island. Spoiler alert, but they didn't really say it, but you get the sense. You see it. And possibly some stirrings of Ollie and Dinah's relationship gets dealt with there also, or their beginning of a relationship, I should say. Von Gloom says the deranged Casey Jones that I remember. Yep, the cartoon that made Baxter a ginger. To my Baxter Stockman, I'm assuming. Wait, I thought Baxter Stockman was black in the. I don't know. Anyway, am I misremembering? Didn't they show Klingon Hell on Voyager or Deep Space Nine? I don't remember that. That sounds like a Deep Space Nine thing they would have definitely touched on. I don't know if they would have shown it. But they definitely did talk about, well, they talk about Stovacor a lot, which is heaven, the Klingon heaven, but I can't remember if they
It's
actually...
like Valhalla, right?
Basically, yes.
Heroes go.
Yes.
Upon dying a warrior's death.
Exactly. And I know they've mentioned a Klingon Hell, but I don't remember if they actually went there. I mean, it's probably wherever the pirates hang out anyway. But the TVA books did come out, so yes. Wait, what was it? Oh, they resolved.
I'll just get to it, after the show.
Oh yeah, he's talking about. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ted
so
Grant. Yes,
else?
think Ted Grant taught bats how to fight. Also, yes, I think that is also the case. But like I said, in that Black Canary story, they kind of suggest. They don't even suggest. They basically said that Black Canary was the one who taught Ted Grant how to fight. So because she was taught by her mom, whatever. So that's what it's suggesting. In '87, the cartoon Baxter was a nerdy ginger dude that had a phony voice. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking. So yeah, that all checks out. And Klingons equal space Vikings. Yeah, that's basically the case, but they're also black. Who's Kliqs of the week? What are your candidates, sir? Or unless you just straight up have yours.
I still have my candidates. I'm still kind of considering because I really did like that Captain America and Volstagg book. Okay. FF number 29 is good. That's always a great candidate. So is Ultimate Spider-Man number 14. Those are probably my top 3 candidates. Absolute Wonder Woman's actually up there too, except it was kind of a weird way to end the issue. I appreciated what Von Gloom had to say about Absolute Wonder Woman. It was just I was a little bit, maybe I just didn't remember everything that they told about this particular version of Wonder Woman's story in the first 4 issues. Because when we got to the crescendo here in number 5, in order to take down the big bad, as it were, she resorts to doing something, and I'm like, wait, when did this? Like, what part of this is referenced in the previous 4 issues? I'm gonna have to go back and look, but I didn't have the time or the inclination to do so. So that's probably what takes it off the click of the week list for me, but it was still very good overall. I still would like to review and read those 5 issues again to see how it all fits together. But for this week and for these purposes, I think I'm going to go with as hard as it was to read the parallels between what the FF is going through and real life right now. I think Fantastic Four number 29 is my click of the week for me.
All right, there we go. Then there's that cover right there. I missed a couple of comments. So yeah, Von Gloom does indeed mention about Absolute Wonder Woman, and I'm going to say we have some news about which you may or may not know already, but we have some news about a Wonder Woman video game in the news. Yeah. He also asked, any of you gents picked up Jump Scare? We do have a copy of it. Or did I put a copy of it? I think I did. But no, neither one of us read it.
Nope.
Let's see. It begins in the Ice Guardian buffet. Okay. Doom's robot general lady that made an appearance in. Oh wait, did she show up in the Earth Mightiest Heroes? I don't remember that.
I don't know.
And because that's what Von Gloom is saying. And I remember the show, but I just don't remember that. But a lot happened in that show anyway. So, regardless, Absolute Diana has surprised me more compassionate than regular Diana, despite growing up in hell and having a harder life. Hey, changes you. For myself, as we keep this pushing, Amazing Spider-Man 68 deaths is a potential Kliq. Ultimate Spider-Man definitely is a potential because, as Agent 70 said, always great. What was the other ones I had? West Coast Avengers #4, because I'm glad they didn't go where it was suggested they were going. That was happy. And Black Canary, Best of the Best, #4 of 6 was also a potential Kliq. Actually, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, #7. Actually, that was also a potential Kliq of the week. But I think I am actually going to go with, weirdly enough, it's weird and slightly painful for me to say this, but Amazing Spider-Man's #68 deaths.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
Spidey book with very little Spidey in it.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yes, more X-Men and less Spidey. That was the weird part about it. But it was like, you know what? This whole Juggernaut thing that they did in this issue. Like, all right, I'm here for it. That was cool. And wait, what would you say yours was? I'm sorry.
FF. Fantastic Four #29.
Yeah.
It just hit a little too close to home.
Yeah, if I had gotten around to reading that, I'm sure I would have probably felt the same way, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, just like with the TVA book, I'm sure you'll get to that soon, sooner rather than later between now and the next show.
Yeah, pretty much. Because there was a couple of them I was intending to get to, but there was a lot of books we read, so we went through a lot, folks. We go through a lot. With that, we are going to go into the news section, but first, an ad read.
Our first ad read of the night is for Wink, your personalized wine club. Wink is a world of wine delivered right to your door. From rosé to Cabernet to Torronté, Wink has over 100 styles of wine to discover. Ever try an orange wine? Wink connects you to a world of exclusive wines tailored to your taste and delivered directly to your door. Wink delivers 4 bottles of wine to you every month with free shipping. You can pick your own bottles or let Wink choose and match to your taste. It doesn't cost a thing to become a member, and you can skip or cancel anytime. And now the listeners of the Comic Book Chronicles can enjoy an exclusive discount of $20 off your first order. To place your first order with $20 off and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us/wink. That's cspn.us/WINC. Wink wines through cspn.us. Do it today. And now we get into the news.
Yeah, I was just telling Von Gloom in the chat. He was mentioning about that character showing up in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and I've been meaning to go back to that show because I love that show, or do a rewatch of that show, I should say. All right, folks, cinematic news. As we're going to try to get through this kind of fast because we've got a lot. Jon Bernthal. Apparently, actually, I'm going to take these first two. They are related. But Jon Bernthal, and that looks like a typo for some reason, is co-writing Marvel's Punisher special presentation with director Ronaldo Marcus Green. So yeah, he's getting the Jack Russell treatment, the Werewolf by Night treatment instead of a show. on Disney Plus. So let's say he's co-writing the script alongside We Own This City's Reynaldo Marcus Green, like I said. Brian Wendelbaum confirmed the news, revealing that the idea for a standalone Punisher story took shape during the production of Born Again. And then it goes into, a little bit of some Born Again business. And speaking of Born Again, as I talk about the next article, apparently John Bernthal, which I guess is not a typo, would regularly rewrite his lines during the filming of Daredevil, I guess. Or I guess is it Born Again or just the old Daredevil? So, but let's see. Yeah, here we go. So it isn't just the audiences who are excited to see him return, though, as Bernthal's co-star Charlie Cox, who reprises the roles, you know who that is also thrilled to see Castle back. That's because the Punisher brought out a different side of Daredevil, according to this article, thanks to the similarities. As Cox said at a recent press conference, which Games Radar Newsarama / Games Radar attended, when facing off against Castle, his Daredevil becomes rougher. So let's see. Cox teased that the scenes they shared together in the new show could be legendary. He has a couple of really great scenes, potentially iconic moments. They're absolutely a joy to shoot. I feel like John and Charlie are very different people, but Daredevil and Frank are so much similar to one another. Okay, sure. So it's fun to play with that. And often when I'm in a scene with Daredevil with Frank, he pulls me closer to a Daredevil that I'm frightened of and excited by. And I think that it's written and baked in material as well. So yeah, and also Charlie Cox goes on to say, though, even though it's written, he's added that Bernthal is a fan of improvisation and often rewrote some of his character lines in the moment. So he's talking about from Born Again and not the old show. So there you go. Next up.
So if you hadn't figured it out, Daredevil Born Again is premiering next week on Disney Plus. It's going to be one of the things we talk about next episode. Daredevil Born Again, Tony Dalton is set to reprise his Hawkeye role as the Swordsman. So Variety reports that Tony Dalton is reprising his role as Jack Duquesne, a.k.a. the Swordsman, in 2 episodes of the upcoming Marvel series Daredevil Born Again. Okay. We last saw him in Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, you know what? I will save this for a minute because I just thought about something. But yeah, so that's weird. I mean, I know they do this in the MCU a good bit, or at times. It was like, hey, here's a character from this other thing that you wouldn't think would be showing up here, but here they are. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is the swordsman? I don't know if the swordsman had any kind of dealing with Daredevil. Probably will after this.
Right.
There's probably going to be some like here's a story from way back in the day, but it's actually brand new that had them teaming up together for some reason.
Right. I mean, there's the character in Marvel's television in Disney Plus doesn't obviously does not track strictly with the origin story that's in the comics. So we'll see how they decide to adapt it.
True. I mean, it's not like he's going to be taking over his stick or anything. It's just like, he's probably showing up for some reason. Anywho's, Marvel producer says test audience loves scrapped Daredevil Born Again episodes, but a lot of their material made it into the final show. So, you know what? We won't know what was scrapped and what made it into the show, but we will find out next week. Next up.
So next up, we talked about this right as we closed out the show last week and in our post-production. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 first look officially reveals the look of Gwen Stacy / Spider-Gwen. So, it's one of those articles that I have to click reload. Okay. Let's see here. We get to see where Spider-Gwen comes in next episode. We don't exactly know how yet, but that's to be revealed in season 2.
Yeah. We saw this after the show last week. I kind of wish we had seen it before the show last week, so we could have mentioned it then. But hey, you know what? It's good news all the way around.
Exactly. It'll be a different way of introducing Spider-Gwen into the story, especially if we're not doing Spider-Verse, if we're not doing anything like that.
Right.
You know, obviously a very different Spider-Man than we've gotten before. Indeed. You know, in Friendly Neighborhood.
Yeah, indeed. And I feel like this probably gives this. We might have even said that after the show. After that, we may be. We may have found out where the other bite went to, or where the spider went to.
Right.
Possibly. But anyways, the Russo brothers tease a quote radical and quote challenging story for Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. I think they said there was another article, which I don't know if this one also says that they're filming both of those back to back. And the other article I saw saying was like they may not survive. Which brings me to that old X-Men quote. But apparently, in a recent interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Joe Russo talked about their approach, saying, quote, I think we're always looking for new phases. There's always new stories to tell. I think these movies are going to be a surprise to people. We found a way into the story that's very exciting for us, but we think very radical. I think it's going to challenge audiences. And man, we should have gotten Captain America: Brave New World, because we could have done a whole lot of better. I'm sorry, they didn't say that. That was me saying that. that was on me editorializing. I'm so sorry. Not really. But anyway, and this article kind of goes on with that, and I think it does mention the fact that they are filming both Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back. So, and I think they did the other two like that as well. So it worked for them. Why not let it work for them now? Next up.
Okay. Unexpected and daring, they say.
Yes.
All right. WandaVision and Agatha All Along creator confirms her next project for Disney Plus.
That's not what you think.
Exactly. Is now working Jack Schaefer is now working her magic on an entirely new project outside of Marvel. Let's see. So she'll direct the pilot for the new gender-swapped Holes series for Disney Plus. So this is a fresh adaptation of Louis Sachar's 1998 novel. Okay.
It's weird because I've never seen Holes, but I also know there are people younger than us love the fuck out of that movie for some strange reason.
Right.
But also there's a video game out about digging holes right now, which probably aligns with that in some sort of weird way. So I don't know. If there's a correlation there, who even knows? But yeah, go.
I was about to say I've seen like a snippet of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I see a picture of the cast
right.
in this website on this article.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think I have two, but only a snippet. So it's like I don't. Yeah. And I think it had to do with surprise, holes being dug.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, though, X-Men 97 fans will have to wait a while longer for season 2. Okay, come on, get off of there. I should probably take the next one also, but I'm not. So here's a quote. Season 2 of X-Men 97 is going to be in 2026. We're working on it now. It's exciting. That world of the 90s is just... Honestly, Steve, I can't believe they let me make it. I grew up at Marvel, as you know, clocked a lot of time there, and I feel like I've used a lot of currency to revive this thing. I mean, you weren't the one who... But anyway, hey. So the fact that we get to play in that universe with those actors is honestly why I went into this business in the first place. Yeah, there you go. Next up.
All right. During a conversation with Collider's Steve Weintraub ahead of the release of Daredevil Born Again, Marvel Studios' Brad Winderbaum was asked about a few of the animated projects Marvel has cooking lately, including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. So basically what he says is that as of late January, scripts were written, animation and was half done, and a renewal was already handed down through Season 3 of the series. So the hope from the beginning was to prepare for a quick turnaround that would help keep fans invested in the storyline Jeff Trammell is building between Peter, his friends, and his family. So that is the hope that they will have new adventures on a more regular basis, to put on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. This article also mentions Invincible, but it sounds like this is going to come out sooner than Invincible seasons will.
Yeah. Right. Their hope is that they want to have a season of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man every year, which is good because you don't want to lose momentum.
Absolutely.
But obviously, that's such a hard thing to pull off with animation because it just does take a long time to do. Maybe they're obviously taking advantage of the simpler animation style.
Yeah, and it's especially with streaming and the number of episodes and all that kind of stuff. It's like it's a whole lot different than. Well, it's a whole lot similar, but a whole lot different than when stuff was coming on TV.
Right. According to the article, he says we'll have to wait a little bit more than a year for season 2, but after that, it should come out on an annual cadence, hopefully.
Which means whatever they're starting to work on now, they're cutting it up.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Are we going to verify? Yes, I am a human. Thank you very much. Is Henry Cavill joining the Nova TV series?
Huh.
So, okay, grain of salt, first of all, because let us not forget that Henry Cavill was also supposedly attached to a Thundercats live action movie that has been confirmed not to be the case. When we also know he is actually doing that Warhammer thing show. But anyway, research rumors suggest that Henry Cavill, aka Superman, as this article says, is in talks to join the upcoming Nova TV series. And it goes into Cavill's recent back history. Doesn't mention Mission Impossible though. Haha. Let's see, this article goes through his DC output. Put it this way, so we don't necessarily need to do that. But Marvel's Nova series is expected to be a major new project in their growing television lineup. The show will focus on Dick Ryder. that was for Von Gloom, the human member of the Nova Corps. Folks know who that is. While the Nova Corps has appeared in past MCU movies, the series will dive deeper into their lore. And there are industry rumors suggest that the show will be a blend of military, sci-fi, and cosmic action, a la Star Troopers, mixed with Battlestar Galactica. That's an interesting mix. I'm liking it. It's said that it will wrestle with themes of propaganda as Ryder balks at how Nova Corps recruits members and controls the galaxy. The thought is Henry Cavill will portray the central character of the show, Richard Ryder himself. It's still too early to say, but in the meantime, we'll go through some useful keys to pick up, and the article kind of speculates from there on there. Next up.
All right, it's been well over 2 years, but the wait is almost over. The second season of Andor finally hits Disney Plus on April 22nd. We got a new trailer to get Star Wars fans pumped and ready. I saw it. Did you watch it?
Absolutely. And as someone else said on Twitter, there was never have been a more timely show to come along.
Yeah. Yes, because fomenting rebellion is an important thing in this in this story, and it's pretty timely nowadays.
Yep, pockets fomenting. Now I got to go back and watch the first season again.
2 years, man. 2 years. Holy cow.
Yes. Pockets fomenting. But yeah, three episode premiere April 22nd. So we'll be here for it. And yeah, if you haven't watched the trailer, you should, because it's pretty good. And pretty different, because I know we've talked about this in the past, but they're definitely breaking up in the arcs again, but the arcs are different time frame jumps.
Right.
So
my understanding is that they're doing time jumps in between like 3-episode arcs.
Yes. And leading up to Rogue One.
Right.
Yeah. Because apparently the show was supposed to go a little bit longer, but they decided it was supposed to be a couple of different seasons, but they condensed all of that into this one. So yeah. Okay, I don't know why I will save that for another time, even though, yeah. Next up, you got this one?
No, I just did the Disney Plus Andor one.
Okay, hold on. Fine.
I mean, I can take this one if you want.
No, I got it. It's loading. It's loaded. It's loading. It's loading and loaded. There we go. DC Studios announces Green Lantern. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take the next one also. DC Studios announces Green Lantern, Starfire, and more animated TV shows. And the next article is basically says that, hey, that the new Green Lantern show, which is called My Adventures with Green Lantern, is also set in the same timeline as My Adventures with Superman. So there is that. But the other two shows that are going to be coming are DC Superpowers and a Starfire show. Apparently all three are will be younger skewing animated series according to Variety. That My Adventures with the Green Lantern will be following Jessica Cruz, and not Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. And of course, Starfire will be, the Titans character as she leaves her home and explores the galaxy. The DC Superpowers show is not the version of Super Friends that if you're of a certain vintage you would remember. Let's see. Oh yeah, My Adventure with Green Lantern will be high school age Jessica Cruz, by the by. DC Superpowers is set within an alliance school for heroes and follows Lightning Flash, Plastic Man, Aqua Girl, Green Lantern, and Terra as they try to, quote, level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter. That would come from Matt Beans and Michael Chang. And, of course, the Starfire, which is... Josie Campbell is executive producing that one with Brianne Drocard serving as co-executive producer. So there is probably going to be a comic book also written by Josie Campbell, probably in the same space as that. Now, Josie Campbell also executive producing of My Adventures with Superman. Doesn't say... here we go. My Adventure with Green Lantern comes from executive producer Jake Wyatt and co-executive producers Stephanie Gonzaga. There we go. So not Josie Campbell. And there we go. Next up.
You were going to take this one.
I did. I already said it. So.
Oh, and then I apologize because I was looking at the Starfire article, not realizing you had already squeezed in the My Adventures with Superman story as well. Okay. Superman's Crypto the Superdog to star in the series of DCU short movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So James Gunn has announced that Crypto will star in the series of short films that will begin to be released following the debut of Superman. Okay. They'll be releasing in the fall, with there being 4 of them in total. It's unclear if David Corenswet or any of the other Superman cast members will also be appearing in them. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
So they're shorts. Where will they be coming out? It doesn't say.
No, it doesn't. I would suspect probably on the YouTube channel Andor Max.
Right.
But
very much in the vein of I Am Groot.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Some sad news that I just threw in here because I found out about this earlier. Gene Hackman and wife Betsy Arakawa found dead in Santa Fe home. I think the dog also was found in there. So what Gene Hackman, accomplished actor for decades upon decades. Of course, some of us of a certain vintage know him as Lex Luthor in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. And that's crazy to find out. But it says here, on Wednesday, sheriff's deputies visited the home of Hackman and Arakawa, who married in 1991. The couple was found dead alongside their dog. The quote, all I can say is that we're in the middle of a preliminary death investigation, waiting on approval of search warrant. The sheriff told the Santa Fe New Mexican. The statement came before authorities had positively identified the pair per the publication. I want to assure the community and neighborhood that there is no immediate danger to anyone. So that's clearly some foul play probably happened, but we don't know, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough news.
Von said the new information about the death is crazy. Is there something else outside of this? Because I just pulled this one earlier. I mean, just pulled this one a second ago. But yeah, that's all crazy. But next up,
yeah, I mean, the latest. I'm just looking for the more recent ones. Yeah, kind of tough to see. Anyway, next up, Transformers rolls out its 40th anniversary with a new short film. Okay. The Japanese YouTube channel T-Spark unveiled a short film titled We Are Not Alone, which tells a standalone story in stop motion animation. Okay. So it's a 7-minute short film available in full down below in this article.
Yeah, we talked about this was happening, but we did not know when it was coming out, and now it is, and so you can go check it out. I'm sure people already have. So yeah, that's that. Now we're going on to some.
Have you watched Transformers 1?
No, not yet.
I have not either. No. I don't
No.
think it's on any of the streaming services I have yet, right?
Actually,
it's not on Paramount?
It was on Paramount, but it might be on Netflix or something at this point. I feel like it had changed at some point, but it was definitely on Paramount Plus. I don't know if it still is or not because I don't have a thing anymore. But I could have sworn it went over to. Actually, I'm checking right now while we see Apple TV, Prime. That's on Prime Video.
Probably for rent.
No.
Oh, it's on Prime?
Well, I mean, probably yes, but it says stream.
Oh, okay.
So, I think that might be where I saw it. But yeah, it is also on rent. But yeah, I think it is also streaming through Prime Video.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Because I know I saw it, and I was like, wait, it's somewhere I know I had access to it, but I will check that. I will confirm that in a second. But we're going to go into the anime corner.
Transmute!
Go ahead while I look this up. Actually, if you don't, unless you don't have it.
What's that? Oh, I was looking up Transformers 1 too on Isn't that terrible? I'm just annoyed. I'm like, wait a second.
Okay,
is that really on?
So according to what I'm seeing here, it is on Amazon Plus, but it's through one of those channels. So it's through MGM Plus.
Right, which means it's still on Paramount.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so
Gotcha.
yeah, so
Sorry,
it's not
It's
so
technically not available.
right. Boo.
Right. It's technically not widely available. I gotcha.
Right. Boo.
Gotcha. Anyway, thanks for confirming that, because I was looking at it and I didn't see it directly available. I mean, I wasn't looking to click on it. So
Right.
alrighty.
It's out there. It's
Alright.
out there in other means, but
Gotcha. All right, you want me to take the next one?
yeah. It's-
All right. The official Dragon Ball site accidentally confirms Daima's new form is called Super Saiyajin 4. Because, of course, it is. Right.
Well-
So this information was prematurely released via a listing for a new Daima-related action figure. Kind of figured.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Von Gloom says they are saying the form touches on divinity because Goku's hair and eyes are red.
Yeah. So since the debut of Super Saiyajin 4 Goku Mini in Daima episode 18, Dragon Ball fans have wondered if the series will keep the name or give the formerly exclusive Dragon Ball GT form a different moniker to rationalize the Super Saiyajin God transformation that will follow in Dragon Ball Super. Based on concept art for episode 18, the anime staff at Toei Animation were internally referring to Goku's new Daima form as Super Saiyajin 4. Okay. Because it's a clear tribute to the anime original concept in GT.
Right. And guess what, folks? We got an answer to that question because Dragon Ball Daima reveals Goku can turn Super Saiyan 4 whenever. And actually, well, no, that was the other thing. Yeah, okay. Even though he can't do it in Super. So Von Gloom, yeah, I thought that was the case. Von Gloom says the OG Super Saiyan 4 had black hair and black eyes. So I guess that would make sense of why there is the difference.
Yeah. The name Super Saiyajin 4 has yet to be used in the series and was avoided, probably intentionally, because when Goku gave his classic introduction of Super Saiyajin form to King Goma. Okay.
Right. So according to this article, yeah, so this article is talking about there's continuity errors because of the fact that Goku can turn Super Saiyan 4 and couldn't in Super, but see, with the introduction of Super Saiyan 4 in episode 18, and I guess he also gets used in 19, according to this article, Daima gives itself the perfect explanation for why Goku doesn't use the transformation at all in Dragon Ball Super. Specifically, Goku is only able to power up after receiving a magical transfusion from Neva. So,
right.
There you go. Spoilers for anybody who hadn't watched it like me, but
sorry.
I'm not. I don't. It's fine.
I was going to say, I think I'm an episode behind. I might have missed the most recent episode.
Oh, well, then apologies to you too.
Oh no, I saw this the Super Saiyajin 4. Like I knew that's what it was, even though I had never watched GT, because I was like, wait, this is different. They haven't. What's funny is that they don't actually say Super Saiyan or Super Saiyajin 4.
Right.
But I hate to say this, I was counting. I was like, oh, that's got to be 4.
See, Von Gloom's kind of reading ahead. I see, but he must have seen me click to the next article. But so he also says that Von Gloom says that they're implying that Daima will end with a mind wipe to avoid any continuity errors in Super. Goku forgets about Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta will forget about Super Saiyan 3. If that indeed actually happens, then yeah, I guess that's one way to deal with it. So also, forgot. Also, rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg, aka Harriet the Spy, aka Dawn Summers from Buffy.
Also rest in peace. That was very sudden news. The actress is not all that familiar to you know. I'm not all that familiar with her work, but I happened to be in a comic book store when the news dropped. Happened to be in Forbidden Planet here in over in downtown Manhattan when the news dropped. I happened to be on foot walking and strolling through and went through Forbidden Planet and the news dropped, and one of the Cashiers was talking to me about it. Because this is like minutes after the news hit his phone, probably.
Mm-hmm. Also, I can't remember her name from Eurotrip.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, that's sad. 39 is that's a young way to go.
Yep.
But back to the news, comic book news, which I guess that's technically kind of was given the Buffy connection. I don't know if I want to. We'll get that in a second. Mobile Suit Gundam G-Quacks beginning North American release date. So the upcoming movie will be part of a one-day only IMAX screening event in North American theaters. So there we go. We now have a date, and that date I believe is very, 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 very soon, which is tomorrow. I think. Hold on, let me scroll. Here we go. No, actually, wait, it happened already. So yeah, it was from February 26th. So it happened already. So this is late. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You missed out, but maybe if you got to see it, hey, maybe they'll show it again. Maybe somebody clipped it. I don't know. There's always people. Yeah, sorry, Von Gloom. It looks like you missed it there, pal. But I'm sure it's gotta come back out somewhere, or probably be on Crunchyroll at some point. I don't know. So I did not look at that. Or I did look at it, but I thought it was actually today, the 28th. As we were continuing to record, because we just passed over midnight. But sorry about that. Von Gloom says, I'm pissed that the anniversary is trying to blame her Michelle Trachtenberg's dick on getting back to it. Oh, those assholes. Yeah, and I saw this news. She had recently had an organ transplant, and they are saying that her body rejected the new organ. Yeah, I did see that. It was a liver transplant. I did see some people talking about that. So, still sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Next up, we're going over into the comic book news, and this is you.
Scrolling. Dark Horse is shutting down its iOS comic app. So the Dark Horse digital service is being shut down, and as part of that, the Dark Horse Comics iOS app will no longer be supported, according to an announcement. Dark Horse Comics says people should download comics they've purchased by March 30th, as it will then end support for its iOS app and the standalone Plants vs. Zombies comics app the following day. You can still visit the Dark Horse digital website if you make an account before the deadline to read the comics you've bought, but only through at least summer 2025, the company says in an FAQ. You can also sync your website account with the app to download issues, according to the announcement. Tough news.
There was a Plants vs. Zombie comics out? Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, so.
I don't have a firstborn son to sell in order to afford Crunchyroll. Isn't a year's subscription close to $150? No, actually.
Oh.
No,
I subscribe to Crunchyroll. It's not that
so
bad.
do I. Yeah, we both have year subscriptions separately, and it's not that much. I think it's like 70 or something. Isn't it?
I got to look that up.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. It's going to be a while since mine comes up. But anyway, next up, Dynamite Comics no longer on Diamond's final order cutoff FOC list, that's what FOC stands for. If you did not know, final order cutoff. So this is in with the Diamond facing Chapter 11 bankruptcy and all this other stuff that this is going on. Apparently, let's see. Dynamite being listed as being owed $217,000 from Diamond, though I hear it's been according to this article, which I don't know how to believe, but has been revived upwards to around $250,000. Again, you got to consider the source in these situations. So, yeah, therein lies that. Next up.
So at least the subscription tier, like for 12-month subscription is $79.99, the current one.
Yeah. Okay.
For
I knew it
3
was
months it's
close.
$22.99, and for 1 month it's $7.99.
Right. Which is still cheaper than something we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, ironically, my Marvel Unlimited just came up because I was like, why is my stupid watch vibrating? And I see the email. Oh, okay.
Don't you love it when it happens like that?
Yeah, it just went through. Next up, Dynamite Comics. Actually, wait. Did you do this one?
Yeah. No. You. The next one. You're on. I did that
Oh,
one already.
okay. G.I. Joe team shoots down popular theory about Snake Eyes. Oh, God.
I had not even heard this, honestly. So.
A popular theory?
Yeah,
Okay, I gotta open this one now. Hold on, guys. Hold on, folks. Only because I've been joking about this. I don't know what this popular theory is, though, because I'm not as online as as I could be or have been.
Mm.
So, but like everyone else, I also was wondering. Ever since the new era of G.I. Joe began, fans have been wondering when Snake Eyes will join the Energon universe. The G.I. Joe creators have shot down at least one popular theory about Snake Eyes floating around the internets. So, in the letters column for G.I. Joe #4, a reader asked about the rumor concerning the new character Risk, who some fans have theorized will eventually become the Energon universe version of Snake Eyes. Writer Joshua Williamson and editor Ben Abernathy rejected the theory immediately, with Abernathy saying, I can say categorically that is not the case. Williamson and Abernathy went on to state that they had never even heard that theory before, after reinforcing the idea that Risk was always meant to be a brand new original character. Okay.
Yeah. So we're in alone.
Yeah.
No, Bunglum, they do not plan that. It was a rumor that apparently has been confirmed absolutely not true.
Yeah, right.
Now we don't know that. Granted, they still could. I mean, hell, there's like 2 or 3 running around in Real America Hero. One of them's gender swapped, and the other one's, well, actually, yeah, one of them's gender swapped. So that's, yeah, I don't know. Anything could happen, but it won't be this. Next up, IDW launches the Keisai era, a new Godzilla universe, apparently. So, let's see. It's Godzip, Starship Godzip, and Escape the Dead Zone. So K as in, or I guess it's Kai as in Kaiju, and Sei as in, I'm not sure what that part is. But, let's see. IDW have been putting out Godzilla books longer than Marvel and DC. Working with Godzilla owners Toho International for more than a decade. They now have officially extended their partnership through 2029. And this article says that there's a new continuity publication plan coming into play, apparently. Let's see. A series of interlinked shared universe comic books in a similar fashion that Image and Skybound have done with Transformers and G.I. Joe. And now there's proof. The Kaisei era which is it's a connected universe. The 3 books that I mentioned are the 3 books that are starting off, and looks like it's, let's see, Starship Godzilla is launching in October. Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone is going to be in August. And the first book, let's see, is going to be, what was it? Oh, yeah, they talk about that Godzilla versus America, which is that book came out. One of those books came out this week also. Godzilla #1 is coming out in August. Oh, excuse me, it's coming out in, not August. Actually, it doesn't say. Oh, July. It does say. Sorry. Also mentions G-Force here, and that's like, wait. Gatchaman? But anyway. So yeah, look forward to that starting in July. Next up.
Alrighty. Just scrolling to see if Roddykat has some news that I just saw on the Bleeding Cool website.
Maybe
No.
not.
So I am going to read this story, and then I'm going to shoot this story over to Roddykat.
Oh, while you're doing that, Von Gloom, yes, Marvel did have Godzilla for a while back in the 70s.
Right. They're doing Godzilla stuff now with Marvel also, like in as partnership for the anniversary.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get this over to Roddykat, and I'm going to do this next story. Thundercats Lost #1 preview reveals the new characters and new challenges. Dynamite Entertainment found great success in 2024 with the Thundercats revival. So that trend will continue in Thundercats Lost, a new sister series to the current monthly comic book. It will offer a more mature take on these classic characters. The new series will be handled by writer Ed Brisson and artist Rafa Lobosco. The two creators previously partnered on the Thundercats Apex one-shot. Let's see. Thundercats Lost will similarly introduce some new characters who were not part of the original animated series. However, it will also offer a new origin for Linkso, Pumira, and Bengali, 3 heroes who were introduced in the cartoon's 2nd season. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this when it was announced. So there's that, and it's coming, I think, relatively soon. So there is something. Yeah, I got it. I'm putting it in now, actually. Pink. Right there. There we go. At least I hope I did it. Wait. Okay. Anyway, let's not give me more editing to do, shall we? Let's push on. All right, so you did the Thundercats one. Invincible and Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman's new comic, Blood and Thunder, looks like Blade Runner with a talking gun. So yeah, the series is being excuse me. The series Take 2 is being written by Benito Sereno and illustrated by E.J. Su with Kirkman Consulting. So it's a new sci-fi comic from Skybound that sounds like what I just mentioned. The series is set far in the future on an Earth that has integrated alien life into its society. So it's like alienation, I guess. As different as this society is, however, there's still crime. Wait a minute, this actually does sound like alienation. And crime fighters. Bounty hunter Akodama Bledsoe and her talking gun Thunder. Okay, never mind. Forget what I just said about alienation. Our task was tracking down the galaxy's deadliest criminal, little realizing that this case will, quote, unlock secrets about her past, present, and future, according to Skybound's synopsis for the new series. Although based on Kirkman's idea, the new series is written by the creative team that I mentioned, colored by Masik, and lettered by Russ Wooten. Kirkman is not stepping away from the project. However, he will remain as creative consultant. So there you go. There are preview interior pages from this if you're interested. And there you go. Next up.
All righty, where did we leave off?
Von Gloom asks, is it supposed to be a talking gun? Is it supposed to be a serious or a parody? I don't know. Sounds like it's probably serious. Who knows? The Supergirl one is which is yours.
Supergirl gets throwback costume, new creative team for comics. So let's see here. DC Comics previously announced the new Supergirl series as part of 2025's Summer of Superman event. Details were revealed at the 2025 Comics Pro convention. Along with the new comic book, Supergirl will be getting a new yet familiar costume. The new costume closely resembles the look Supergirl sported in the early 21st century following her reintroduction to the Superman books in 2004. The new costume is modeled on Superman's, but with a skirt and belly-bearing shirt. Skirt. Oh, no, belly-bearing skirt. Oh, my God. The updated costume sports a longer, more conservative skirt and thigh-high boots rather than ankle boots. The skirt is also red rather than the blue of the classic Michael Turner design. All right. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, the new Supergirl book will be written and illustrated by Sylvia Campbell. I think you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I did mention that up front, but I did
Yeah.
not say it at this point. Yes,
Right.
it's Campbell is best known for her recent work as a writer and artist on IDW's TMNT monthly series. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And she also did that Gem and the Holograms book from a couple of years ago. So yeah, there you go. And also Von Gloom, remember, Void Rivals has Handroid, which is a talking hand robot thing. So hey, it can go kind of way. DC's Justice League is going to war. This is, I guess, spoilers for Challengers of the Unknown #3. It says after yet another near disastrous mission regarding the investigation into various Darkseid anomalies that have cropped up across the globe, because apparently Darkseid still is somewhere. Yet another member of the eponymous team of Challengers of the Unknown find themselves locked away in a quarantine within the confines of the Justice League's watchtower. Spoiler alert. If it wasn't bad enough, Mr. Rushlick, who has largely taken charge of the more esoteric goings-on of the Justice League Unlimited, has made it perfectly clear that he no longer trusts the Challengers. Unsurprisingly, that feeling goes both ways, and the rest of the Challengers... Why is it got to be black? Let me stop. And the Challengers are more than prepared to take the Watchtower for themselves if that ends up being the price for their teammates' freedom. So yeah, things are doing in the Challengers of the Unknown. Who'da thunk? Next up.
Jeremy Adams signs an exclusive contract with DC Comics. He's currently writing Green Lantern and Aquaman, and he signed a multi-year exclusive contract to write comic books for DC. Okay.
Sure. Next up, Action Comics will now tell stories of Superboy in Smallville, apparently. Mark Waid and Skylar Patridge will revamp Action Comics with Superboy and Smallville stories. It looks like it's starting from Action Comics 1087, which is going to focus on Clark Kent's youth, learning to be a hero, on the Kent farm. New storyline offers fresh take tying into present DC universe starting this June. And Ryan Sook art, by Vine Gloom, and variants from Skylar Patridge, David Talaski, and Lyrics Lee. So there you go, folks. Next up.
All right, so 2025 is an interesting time for Batman. So current writer Chip Zdarsky just ended his run with Batman number 157, paving the way for Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee's Hush 2 storyline in March. Once Hush 2 is over, DC will be relaunching Batman with a new number 1 issue, new writer, and new costume. As revealed at the Comics Pro Retailer event, the new volume of Batman will be written by Matt Fraction, and current Batman artist Jorge Jimenez is staying on board, though as mentioned, he and Fraction have designed a new costume and new Batmobile to ring in the new series. Batman is going into a more vintage-inspired blue and gray costume. Okay.
And also, the Buried the Lead, Fraction's back.
Oh no, I didn't bury the
No,
lead.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm just saying, like, this article did.
Yeah. I mean, Fraction's back doing comics after I think the second season of what's the Godzilla TV show?
Oh, Monarch. Yes. Yes.
The second season of Monarch is already filmed.
It's true.
So makes sense that he would be on to his next project.
Yeah, too bad. It's a Batman book, and I won't be reading it. Also, I don't think I ever read Hush 1, even though I know bits and pieces about it. Anywho's, DC Comics plans for a brand new Justice League G or JL, Justice League Green.
It's the spoiler for the current. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and Agent 70 kind of already mentioned that earlier. So we're going to push on. Next up.
All righty. Oh, so speaking of digital comics, new DC Universe Infinite monthly Ultra tier subscription has launched. So, you can do $12.99 a month, which is pretty expensive. You can read new comics 30 days after print release, and you get the access to all of their library. The annual cost is $119.99, which is still a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Or you can go for free and read their digital stuff, like similar to what similar to Marvel Unlimited has. But yeah. So if you're watching the video version, you can see the prices that Agent 70 just mentioned for the yearly, which still a little bit more than Marvel Unlimited. Again, neither one of us are being sponsored by neither one of these. We're just saying, if this is something that may or not have interest you, you got to weigh that out. I mean, granted, being able to get 30 days early, they're 30 days after print, that's cool and all. If you are a DC enough of a DC fan, you get a little bit more, archive copies of archive comics and graphic novels and along with vertical and black label stuff with that, that new Ultra tier, which I could have sworn was not new, but apparently it is. And they got some new digital stuff, digital comics that they put out this week as well. So there you go. So we can move past that. And here's some news. Marvel and DC to crossover again later this year. Who saw that one coming? We kind of did. We kind of did. Also, I don't know if you see well, you don't see this. I'm gonna send this to Agent 70. And on Skype. Yeah. There we go. Just passing things on. All right. But yeah, so we I feel like we kind of speculated after the reprints last year that it could happen, but we also probably thought it probably wasn't going to happen. So imagine a surprise when this popped up. And apparently during Comics Pro 2025 Retailer Expo, where the stuff is coming from, both DC's editor-in-chief Mary Javins and Marvel editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski jointly announced that DC and Marvel will cross over yet again this year. Oh God. According to On the Scene Live Skeeting from the Beats Heidi McDonald, the crossover will come in the
windows to the wall.
Oh, okay. The crossover will come in the form of 2 one-shots titled DC Marvel and Marvel DC. No additional details were revealed at this time. And according to this article, and as we've also said, the news is not a huge surprise given the success of the recent omnibus collections. So, of the past, and not to mention the limited edition JLL Avengers collection that was made available for the Heroes Initiative, which I never still get, and I'm still kind of salty about that. But yeah, so we'll get more information as it becomes available. Yes, Von Gloom, skeeting is what people call Blue Sky's tweets, and I hate it.
Till the sweat.
So Von Gloom also says, I want a more thoughtful amalgam combinations. If that's the path they choose, probably won't be. Put their top writers and artists on these amalgam books. We don't, like I said, we only have these 2 books that have been announced, and we don't know what they're doing. So we shall see.
Yes, I mean, listen, that's what comes to mind. That entire Chris Rock bit about being able not being able to defend that particular song. Anyway.
Yeah. Next up,
Marvel's new Spider-Girl gets her own series from Venom writer. listen, I don't read Spider Boy,
Right.
right? AKA Bailey Briggs. Apparently, there's an all new sensational Spider Girl that emerged from Spider Boy.
Yes, we talked about that. Or I talked about
right.
that.
Well, listen, sometimes I block stuff out.
No,
So
you weren't here. You weren't here when that happened, actually.
Oh, okay. So I am totally in the clear on it.
Right.
So apparently,
but just know he did say he just admitted to what he just admitted to though. Just
I block stuff out when it comes to the Spider Boy character, right? So I'm like, wait a second. This character was a secret protege of Bullseye. Bullseye had the patience to have a secret protege. What?
Apparently.
Oh God.
Apparently.
So all that happens, and now this character has the power to copy abilities and thoughts, right? So she's not Taskmaster, she's Taskmaster Plus.
But kinda, right.
Right? But she makes distorted reflections of people like a funhouse mirror. Love it. Love it.
And apparently Spider-Boy was trained by Daredevil.
What's that?
Apparently Spider-Boy was trained by Daredevil at some point.
So Bullseye betrays her during a fighting contest in Madripoor, right? And abandons his spider kid, who finds an ally in fellow super tween Bailey, aka Spider-Boy. And now Maka, the character Makawalu Maka Akana, is copying Spider-Boy once again with her own ongoing series, Spider-Girl #1, from writer Torunn Grønbekk and newcomer Marvel artist Andre Risso. Spinning out of the pages of Spider-Boy it's going to hit the stands on June 11th. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. I could have. Did she show up? I know I read it, so I don't even know why I'm asking this question. Did she show up in New Champions? Because I know Spider-Boy did.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just Spider-Boy.
Okay. Okay, finesse. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's pretty good. Okay, next up though, Captain America is getting a new costume and probably a new figure. Let's face it. But it makes a major change to Steve Rogers, and this is from that. This is for that new Chip Zdarsky written book that we talked about last week. Its opening arc will take readers back for when Steve Rogers first emerged from the ice, but before we joined the Avengers, we talked about that. The Captain America suit designs are by Valeria Schiti and features Steve Rogers in his familiar star-spangled costume. However, there is a second design that Marvel dubs a stealth suit, which more than likely is when he leads, quote, an all-new, that's not even a quote, Howling Commandos, excuse me. Cap's stealth suit has a black and gray helmet with matching top, pants, and boots. The helmet keeps a version of the American A, because the A doesn't stand for French or whatever, above his eyes, and the top of the costume has a black star with a red outline instead of the white star found on the American flag. Eagle wings can also be seen on the sides of the helmet, and if you're watching the video version, you can see all of that I have just said in the suit design concept art here. So, and there's some Howling Commando designs right there also, which looks more like some Metal Gear stuff, which I'm not terribly mad at, but let's face it, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's tough because, rubber band continuity being what it is, it's different to see, Cap come out of the ice post 9/11.
Right.
That's what's heavily implied here. It's just a reboot of the origin we all know, but it's going to push him into the 21st century.
Right. Next up.
Okay, next up. New The Thing #1 preview features Ben versus an alien creature. Okay. Marvel Comics has released a preview of The Thing, a new 5-issue series by Tony Fleeks and Justin Mason, launching its first issue on May 21st. This series was originally set to release in March with a different artist, but now it's back on track. Okay.
I love the quote in that next line, the next thing. In that spirit, we're throwing every villain in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe at him. So that's going to be interesting to do in 5 issues, especially with the Thing, the ever-loving blue-eyed. And sadly, no Thing ring probably, because we know he's going to lose his powers soon. So, yeah, I assume this has nothing to do with that, though. Next up, though, anyway. Now I want a Howling Commandos FPS based on Call of Duty, but with AIM and Hydra troops as canon. See, if they were smart, they would do that, but they probably aren't. That would be cool. Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine sequel to be Spider-Man and Wolverine. I feel like we talked about this. Spider-Man Wolverine sequel launches in May 2025, pinned by Mark Gruber. I think we did talk about this, actually. The series follows what Deadpool, and Wolverine storylines. That was the part that's actually a little bit more news, I guess. Expanding the Marvel team-up concept with iconic pairing. Originals, they talked about the original from the Priest back in 87 and some other stuff. So yada, yada, yada. Next up.
Okay. Next, Marvel teases a new X-Men team. Love it. Marvel Comics has teased the imminent arrival of the all-new, all-different X-Men. Dubbed the 3K X-Men, the newest incarnation of the titular team will debut in May's X-Men number 16. As per the Marvel teaser, the From the Ashes X-Men series scribe Jed MacKay will write the issue with art by Neto Diaz. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, listen, if you're into first appearance stuff, check that out.
Yeah, I guess so. And this will be coming after that X-Men business. So there's that. Darla Deering has the Thing ring now. She still has it? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. I knew she had it, but at one point I didn't know she was still around and still had it. Marvel Comics cancels X-Force, NYX, and probably X-Factor, according to this article, with issue 10. So yeah, the two that are confirmed are NYX and X-Force. I think this article is just speculating for reasons on the X-Factor one. Unless something like that has come out since this article, but I don't know. Regardless, let's see. The most recent Marvel May's 2025 solicitations was missing a number of regular X-Men comics. No X-Force 11, no NYX 11, which we already know that NYX is canceled because after the show, Jackson Lansing put a video out on Twitter saying as much with issue 10. In fact, this mentions it here. Let's see, writer Jeff Thorne has confirmed that X-Force has finished with issue 10. He posted it to the CBR boards. He says, sadly, we are done at 10. Not sure why. You're going to learn a lot about Sage next issue, and also have our mystery go deeper, and it goes on from there. Again, Jackson Lansing mentioned on X about NYX's cancellation, and therein lies that. And yeah, I don't know. So Jackson Lansing also mentioned that it's not going to end out on a cliffhanger, because I think they've been doing fairly decent, or comic books creators have been doing pretty decent about knowing where they want to end up. So even if it does get canceled, then they could just go ahead and shuffle to the end. In a lot of cases, that this may or may not have been that case. But we don't know. Mm-hmm. And we also knew these books were on the block. Let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, as folks who were reading each of them and critiquing them, I kind of had a feeling some of them were on the block, so it's not a big surprise.
Right. It just wasn't a matter of which one was going to actually get cut.
Right.
So, and it turns out all three of them, or at least two out of three of them. Excuse me. So,
yeah.
next up, though.
Alrighty. Jonathan Hickman's Imperial is House of X meets Ultimate. Okay. Marvel reveals Imperial will explore cosmic realms with influences from Nova Corps and Shi'ar technology. Hickman's vision includes elements from his scrapped Imperial Guard and New Mutant storyline. Okay.
Yeah.
Comics Pro apparently became a key event for key comic retailers discussing the future of the market post Diamond bankruptcy.
Of course. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I guess it kind of makes sense. That's kind of the big thing up in the air, and that's a thing that you would do that at, or I guess that's an event you would probably talk about it at, if people were actually talking. So, you can see if you're on the video version, you can see the poster image for, well, somebody's head's blocking the way, but still, for Imperial, which you've seen before, and it also has the Nova helmet, which also brings about a question. Once again, will we see Sam Alexander?
Right.
I kind of wonder. Next up, though, X Factor. Von says X Factor wasn't doing so well either, so it's no surprise. To be honest, X Factor wasn't my cup of tea, but frees up Frenzy to appear in Storm again, says Von Gloom. And yeah, you're not the only one whose X Factor wasn't their cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And he also asks, is it me or does Exceptional X-Men have a weird delayed release schedule? Not that I've noticed, honestly, but I don't know. Maybe. I think it's probably just because the other books to come out the way they do, and Exceptional is monthly, if I'm not mistaken. This is probably why it seems weird. I don't know. Regardless,
I mean, it might skip a week here and there. You know, sometimes those skip weeks kind of mess with shipping. So.
Yeah, there is that too. Yeah. So, Von Grunwald says it would be cool if the Nova Corps fully revived like the Green Lantern Corps, not just one of two true Novas with a book of with a bunch of mooks in Nova universe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that ship may have sailed like at this point. I don't know. Marvel confirms death of the Silver Surfer by Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar. This is the article that Agent 70 slid me a little bit ago.
Right, because apparently this news dropped yesterday. You know, I mean, not yesterday, but like as of, you know, like when we were, you know, just before us recording.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see this, but again, I didn't look at anything because we already had a lot. So, a Greg Pak written Silver Surfer, though, huh? Surfer, huh?
Yeah, it's wild, you know, and let the conspiracy theorists jump in and say, oh, they're getting rid of Norrin Rad ahead of the FF movie.
Yeah. There's going to be that. Yeah. Which, that's some wild shit one way to both ways. Next up. Oh, this is totally you.
I know. Pulling it up.
Well, wait.
Miles Morales enters the new Ultimate Universe in Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion as worlds collide. So this is a new chapter of Marvel's new Ultimate Comics line. You know, and this is a 5-issue limited series by Dennis Camp, Cody Ziegler, and Jonas Scharf.
Yeah.
And let's see here.
Miles weirdly goes back home. That's weird.
On sale June 4th. Wow. This is Incursion number 1 of 5.
Incursions. Boy. We're back here again, folks.
Yep.
So, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I did. Nope, I did not. Okay, this is just weirdly titled from what I caught. Marvel Legends Deluxe Spider-Man 2 Venom figure available now, but that's not the big news. Hasbro has announced a new Spider-Man, Gamerverse, and X-Force Marvel Legends figures. If you're watching the video version, you can see them now. There's a couple of Miles. There's a couple of Peters. There's a Black Cat. All from the video games, the Insomniac video games, or a couple of them are. Anyway, let's see. The Below you'll find the complete breakdown of upcoming Marvel Legends figures alongside pricing. So the figures are Gamerverse Miles Morales upgraded suit, Miles Morales Boricua suit, Peter Parker anti-Venom suit style, Gamerverse Black Cat, that is the Marvel Spider-Man, the video game version of Felicia Hardy also, and Miles Morales Brooklyn 2099 suit. All Gamerverse version, which I'm pretty sure they're in the game. I know the Black Cat one is definitely in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've played the game long enough to actually see Black Cat, so I get that one.
Yes, because I think she was also in the first one anyway, too. And also, there's an X-Force. There's an X-Force figures. There's X-23 and Warpath. There you go. You see that. And also, a Gamerverse Spirit Spider. And a Gamerverse Kingpin.
Wait a second. Wait just a second.
What's that?
Spirit Spider? Is that a ghost spider? Is there like a Ghost Rider spider? What the? I mean, wait, what? Like when I saw this, I was like, what? Which game is this in?
So according to this, it says the first one. I think it is a costume from the first game.
That's why listen. I never got the first game. I might backtrack at one point, but
I don't think so.
I mean,
don't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying it's a good game and you should, because it's the story is there. You just skip the story. Well, not really. You didn't skip much. And the Kingpin is from the first the first Spider-Man one also.
Spider, my God.
Yes. So there you go. Those figures are up for pre-order. They are. Let me see. And the Gamerverse Venom is also $60. I don't care. The X-23 and the X-23 and Warpath is $50. The Spirit Spider is $24.99. The Kingpin is $40. And these other ones are the previous ones I mentioned are $25 each for for that first 6 I've mentioned. So there you go, folks. And like I said, pre-orders are up now, so you can go check them out at your leisure. Next up, in some sad news.
Goodness gracious. I just can't deal. Listen, I'm the resident Marvel Legends person. I can't deal with the video game adaptations. It's just a bit much, guys. I'm sorry.
There's some good figures. I mean, there's some good suits in there, though.
For some, I guess, to each their own, right? Can't hate. That's to each their own. All right, next up. Let's see. Warner Brothers cancels the Wonder Woman game.
Yeah.
Shuts down Multiverse's development. Warner Brothers has canceled the Wonder Woman game and shut down developer Monolith Productions after 31 years, apparently.
Yep.
Wonder Woman reportedly cost Warner Brothers over $100 million and was rebooted last year. Multiverse's developers, Warner Brothers San Diego and Player First Games, have also been shuttered. Don't like to hear news about layoffs, not in the private sector, not in the public sector. Bad stuff to go around.
So here's what y'all need to do. Well, also in the clickbait section, there's an article about the Nemesis system, which was a thing from the Shadow of Mordor games, which was great. Which, by the way, if you might want to pick those up sooner rather than later, just in case they get delisted. I don't know if that's the case, but since Monolith is being shuttered, that could very well happen, or it might not. I mean, it might not. The IP is still there. There's just that the company making the game is going down, which is sad because again, they were also making this Wonder Woman game, which I think was also potentially going to use the Nemesis system to some degree, which would have been great to see that again. So, yeah, and Multiverse we had already talked about being shut down already, so it was a matter of time to hear the rest of this happening. Right. Sadly. Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's unclear how many staff have been affected at this time.
I'm going to say a good bit, because Monolith wasn't necessarily a big studio, but it wasn't small either. So, but some of them might have got folded into other places. Nemesis system, yes, that's exactly right. Where the surviving characters come bearing grudges and come after the MC. Basically, yes. Like, yeah, you go in there, you take that one, and then others take their place, and it's just a series of you trying to make a way through an ever changing role of orcs. Trying to fight your way to the top person, and if you get killed, hey, they get stronger. So like the Nemesis system was great. So if you ever got a chance to play those Shadow of Mordor games, you should. They're good. Next up, though, if you like that kind of stuff, I have to caveat that because I know I hate when people say you should play this game. Anyway, Mondo reveals the real Ghostbusters action figures for Venkman and Egon. If you're watching the video version, you can see them right there. They look pretty damn good. The figures are available in 2 versions. There'll be a standard edition for $101. What? And a Mondo timed exclusive edition for $202. They are both currently up for pre-order. That's a lot of money. Standard edition includes interchangeable portraits, multiple swap-out hands, a proton pack with particle thrower wand. That's supposed to be wand, not want. A ghost trap with a swap-out trapped mini ghost, a ghost figure, and more. And it just goes into the separate pictures of the separate things. Of course, Peter comes with Slimer. Because of course he does. You see me scrolling through the pictures if you're on the video version, which is mostly Peter's. There we go. Here's Egon's things or stuff. I don't know what mini ghost that is. That looks like the ghost that bullied Slimer that one episode. There you go. And there. Next up.
So imagine defending not a castle during a game of Castle Panic, but instead the city of New York, the home of your very own sewer lair. That's what the new partnership between UVS Games, Fireside Games, and Paramount Consumer Products is offering with the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles version of Castle Panic. The press release says the game will be a high-stakes, pizza-fueled battle for New York that will see players taking on the role of Ninja Turtles, cooperating to hold back waves of would-be invaders from their beloved home city. Not Newark. Whether it'll end up on our list of the best board games, only time will tell. That's editorializing there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That Castle Panic Turtle style is set to release later in 2025 with more details to drop at a later date.
Yeah, never heard of that board game, so that's congrats. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown launches a free demo during Steam's Next Fest demo, which is going on right now until March the 3rd. So you can try it out. What it is, it's basically a turn-based tactical game with the turtles. That's actually I need to go and check out. I should go and check out before there's a. So it looks like the full game is going to be 20 levels, a unique take on the world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the minds at Strange Scaffold. That is the developers of the game. Turn-based beat-em-up combat, graphics, novel-style graphics, customizable movesets to shape each turtle's playstyle, and the soundtrack that's supposed to be thumping according to this article. So, cool. Will it be played on Comic Book Chronicles Twitch account? We'll see. I don't know. Well, if I get onto it, we'll see. Next up.
Okay, so apparently Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up. And it's getting 2 major updates filled with exciting features to take the colorful martial arts action to the next level. And the first update is dropping, or has dropped already sometime this week.
Yep, this is true. I haven't had a chance to check out the new stuff, but
right, several new features are being introduced in the first patch, such as an upgrade system in which players can spend skill points to make playable characters stronger, morpher modifiers that can be used to alter gameplay, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's morphin' time, folks. Again. Transformers rolls out a Supreme official collaboration with Optimus Prime. So Supreme is one of the most popular high-end clothing brands, and it has numerous limited edition collaborations with anime and collectible franchises. Now, the first image has been shown of the Supreme X Transformers Optimus Prime collaboration. Recoloring the first Optimus Prime figure ever, this toy is sure to sell out quickly given how popular the Supreme brand and collabs such as this has been in the past. You can see the recolor if you're watching the video thing. It looks like a Hess truck, but with Supreme on the side. So there is that. I probably when I get this one because I actually don't know that brand like that, and there doesn't seem to be a price on it. So there you go. Next, but definitely not least, not last but not least, folks. Last but not least, G.I. Joe goes heavy metal in Hasbro's incredible Cold Slither box set. Now, this is paying tribute to basically our namesake, our network's namesake, to a classic episode of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. IGN has an exclusive first look at Hasbro's latest addition to the G.I. Joe Classified line. It's a new box set featuring Cobra villain Zartan and his dreadnoughts, decked out in full heavy metal regalia as the band Cold Slither. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is why I saved this one for last, folks.
No, this is crazy. But so here's the thing. So the Cold Slither set includes 6-inch figures of Zartan, Ripper, Buzzer, and Torch, all decked out for the Band of Vipers World Tour concert. The set comes with no fewer than 29 accessories, including various musical instruments like a guitar, bass, keytar, and drum set. Even the packaging is designed to recreate the Springfield Theater. The box set will be sold exclusively at San Diego Comic-Con, which runs from July 24th to 27th, 2025. As with all Hasbro exclusives, limited quantities will be made available on the Hasbro Pulse website after the show. For those that prefer a more retro approach to G.I. Joe figures, Hasbro is also teaming with Super 7 to bring Cold Slither Zartan, just Cold Slither Zartan, to Super 7's Reaction Plus line. So this is the 3.75-inch scale figure. It's just Zartan with the microphone and guitar, but without the other dreadnoughts. That's crazy. The Cold Slither Zartan Reaction Plus figure is priced at $20 and will be available for pre-order on the Super 7 website beginning on April 3rd at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. But you also get Hasbro teaming with Raining Phoenix Music to bring the band to life. There is going to be a Cold Slither album.
Yes, there is.
That's crazy. You're going to get 10 electrifying tracks that blend searing, distorted guitar riffs, pounding rhythms, and irresistibly catchy anthemic choruses. Good Lord.
But let's face it, there's only 1 year to give a damn account. If they don't do Cold Slither right, that's going to be a problem all the way around.
And Skybound is even getting in on the fun with a comic book tie-in called G.I. Joe Cold Slither Skybound. Oh, no, Cold Slither. Skybound teases the greatest rock band reunites to rule the world unless G.I. Joe can stop them. Stay tuned to the Skybound website to learn more about the comic. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tap into hopefully friend of the show @ManWang97 makes it to San Diego this year. I'm definitely going to put this at the top of my request list for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep. Same.
That's crazy. No word on pricing, but hopefully we'll find out soon. Hopefully it's not too crazy.
Right. Yeah, with the exception of the one reaction figure, but yeah. The whole
I don't need the reaction figure. I want the Cold Slither box set. We gotta let listen, we gotta let the former what does he go by now? OJ Purple Stuff. The current OJ Purple Stuff. I don't know if he's on current, if he's Blue Sky or not, or if it's still just OJ Purple Stuff.
I think he's on Twitter.
Yeah, I was about to say, gotta let him know. Or I'll just email him directly or even text him and let him know the details because this is crazy.
I think I put it. I can't. No. I feel like I might have put this out on Twitter, but I don't think he may or may not have seen it, or or if I didn't put it out on. Well, I don't know. I have to see. But regardless, yeah, shoot him this, and let him know. So for folks that may or may not know, we are part of the Cold Slither Podcast Network, hence the name, based off of that, seminal episode of G.I. Joe cartoon, so this is near and dear to us, just a little bit.
Oh my God, man.
So I saw this, I was like, yeah, this has got to be the last, this is the last story we got to talk about.
Oh my God.
Because as sometimes we have said in the past, or as a classic would say, you'll be Cold Slither, you'll be joining us soon.
Yes.
As
Yes. Oh my goodness. They have a keytar too. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal. That band setup with the drum set. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've been going through the actually, is there another? There is not. I was about to say, I wanted to see if there was another picture of that, but what you see is what you get for these pictures.
That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, good stuff. And by the way, as I said,
guess it's gonna be $100, at least $100, if not more, because it's usually 20 to 25 per figure. With 4 figures plus accessories, this is gonna be like 125 probably.
I would say if I would say yes, but I would say if they wanted to be nice about it, probably 90. But no, I'm not holding out hope for that.
No. 4 figures, with all those accessories, is going to be 125. I think. Might even be 150 because it's exclusive show thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, that is also true.
I mean, it's going to be expensive, but come on, how many times are they going to put out a Cold Slither set?
Oh wait, it does say, I don't know if you said this, it does say limited quantities will be made available on Hasbro Pulse after the show.
Right, but that stuff goes fast.
It does, yeah.
If you can get someone on the ground to get it for you, it's worth it. So that's going to be my first option.
This might be my only option, but
that's crazy, man.
But definitely one out there. So, folks, that being said, we have rung out the news. Let's get one last ad read before we skedaddle.
Yeah, well, listen, we've been on for a while. It's late. Keep our podcast for you by shopping at Amazon, even though there's a blackout coming out. Visit cspn.us, then click the Keep Our Podcast free link at the top of the page, not on the blackout date. From there, scroll down and click on the Amazon link to shop. Purchase items from Amazon as you normally would, whether it's books, music, electronics, jewelry, apparel, or Marvel Legends. For every purchase made on Amazon through our link, not on blackout date, Amazon sends a CSPN a payment that helps us keep the Comic Book Chronicles podcast free for our listeners at no extra cost to you. Amazon.com through cspn.us. Do it today.
Yeah, that blackout date is today, actually, February 28th. As we're just past just past midnight. Excuse me.
Right.
So yeah, don't be doing no shopping on today.
Nope.
If you can help it. But folks, that is the end of the show. Nice to know we had gotten out outside of the blackout news, but that's a good note still. But we came out on a good note with the Cold Slither figure news, so I feel good about that. We'll be back next week. It will be no longer Black History Month, sadly. It will be Women's
time, though.
Huh?
It'll be Daredevil time.
Yeah, I was about to say it'll be Women's History Month and Daredevil time also. So yeah, we'll look forward to that, and some more Invincible next week's show. I don't know if I'm going to finish season 3 of Daredevil in that time, or if I'm even going to try. We'll see how that plans out. But until then, folks, this has been this has been I was about to say the Cold Slither, but this has been Comic Book Chronicles. Peace.
Peace. One.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Would you look at this?
It's Dr.